it's Miss Lauren from the Lawrence branch, and today I'm going to show you some fun activities that combine science and art. So the first thing I'm going to show you how to make is called paint ice cubes. What you need is an empty ice cube tray, different types of paints. I have a popsicle sticks cut in half for the handles, a spoon, aluminum foil, and then of course a freezer because we're going to freeze them. So what you want to do first with your paints, I'm using washable finger paints. Any type of paint will work. Just know if you use like an acrylic paint, it's not going to come out of your kids' clothing as easily. If you don't have paint, you could also combine water with food coloring. That would work as well, but again, that's going to stain, just so you know, so maybe do that outside. But I have some washable finger paint, so what I'm going to do is just squirt some paint, different colors, into our ice cube tray. Now I'm also just going to water it down a little bit because I find that once it starts to melt when you play with it, it spreads a lot better. I'm just going to use a spoon and mix that up. There we go. And you can fill the whole tray, do any different colors. I like to work with primary colors because then the kids can see color mixing when they're playing with it. Next, you're going to take your aluminum foil and cover your tray. And the aluminum foil will actually help your little handles stick out. So then you're going to just pop them in like that. And then you're going to put it in the freezer. Freeze it, I would say at least overnight. That should be fine. I kept one in there for about 3 weeks and it was perfect when it came out too. So there's no rush. So I'm just going to put this in the freezer and then we'll see what happens when it's done. So we took our frozen paint cubes out of the freezer. I put them out in the sun for a little bit just to start the melting process. Let's take this off. And then if you slide it back and forth, we'll crack them out of there, and then your little painting ice cubes pop right out. And your kids can paint right outside. This is great outside. As it heats up, it'll melt even more. This is a fun one to teach your kids about color mixing. You can use primary colors, mix them up and see what colors you get. And it also teaches your kids how the heat from the sun will melt ice. Next, I'm going to show you how to create some beautiful salt glue painting artwork. So what you need for this is paper. Cardstock works well because you want it to be kind of thick. I really like using the black because it shows up really nice. Just regular white glue, salt, and I like to have a little bin so I can put the salt over top of it and then sort of sprinkle it in and reuse what's left in there because it doesn't use too much salt. And some watercolor paints. So let me show you how. So the first thing you want to do is take your white glue and create some type of design on your paper. Your kids can create whatever they want to. I did my name before. You can just do squiggles or a heart, anything like that. Then you're going to place it into your salting bin. And we're going to add some regular kitchen salt to it. So to make sure that you get salt all over the glue, and then you can shake the excess off. And as you can see, it looks pretty cool. It's very crystally and it kind of gets a little poofy. Now we're going to use our watercolor. Now the key to this is that you want to do it very delicately. And just kind of remind your kiddos of that while you're doing it. So when you choose your color and go in, you're going to very lightly just touch it. And as you can see, it spreads and the watercolor absorbs into the salt glue mixture. And it's really kind of fun because you can do a lot of cool color mixing with it. You can try to do two primary colors next to each other and see how they mix in the middle. But it's really kind of cool to watch it as it spreads through. So it looks kind of like a snowflake. There you go. So our last science and art project that we're going to do today involves gravity. Now on Earth, gravity is what keeps us from floating up in the air. It was what makes things drop. So if you throw something, it doesn't just float in the air, it drops down. And that's because of the gravity that we have here on Earth. So our last project we're going to do is called gravity drip painting. We're going to use the gravity to help us create artwork. So what you need is some type of easel or something that stands up. So like an artist easel would be fine. I'm just using a clear acrylic frame, just something that's going to keep your paper vertical. You also need, I'm using little clips to keep our paper in place, and you need some type of paper. Now I printed this out on my printer. It's just a silhouette of a little kid holding an umbrella because it kind of looks like it's raining when the paint drips down. But you could draw something very simple or just have your kiddo do it on plain paper. So what you're gonna do, and also paint. So I'm just using watercolor paint. Now if we were in the library and had all my supplies, I'd probably give the kiddos little pipettes to use and water down some washable paint. But since I don't have that here, what I'm gonna do is just use our watercolor paint, and we're gonna create drips. Okay, so to create our artwork, I found that the thicker the paintbrush, the better, because you wanna get as much liquid in there as possible. We need to get this drip heavy enough that gravity's gonna bring it down to the bottom. So, just gonna do different colors, and then just start at the top and watch as your drip goes. You can do them all over. You can do lots of different colors, and as you can see, you just want to kind of tap at the top to get the water off. I absolutely recommend adding a lot of water to your watercolor paints to get those drips going. If it stops in the middle, you can add more paint. There's our finished product. Thanks for joining me today for some fun activities combining science and art. See you soon. Bye.